obviously by the time they get here the next time around, you know, the pace will be up even higher than it is now. So I think they should have the next two laps really it should be reasonably safe for them.
Deep into the finale of stage 2 of the Tour of Croatia, 10 kilometers to go. A couple of laps of a tight, technical, twisting finishing circuit in the city of Zadar, the 5th biggest city in Croatia. A beautiful city indeed. And the riders here finishing on yet another little peninsula, jutting out into the Adriatic. There you see the faces of the riders as they drift through the finish line. But Magnus, a bit like a criterium, this is very, very technical, narrow, twisting roads with a lot of road furniture.
And you can see how slick the surface is there. It's very, very shiny indeed, and that's why the riders are taking it gingerly around these corners now by the looks of it.
But this is where you get that whiplash effect, isn't it? You know, the riders have already gone through the corner accelerating, yet the riders at the back are having to slow down. And this is why the bunch gets more and more increasingly elongated and fragmented, especially if the tempo is high at the front. But that's one of the riders, the Polish squad, the Active Jet team. Another one of the team with a very dark coloured strip. They had a rider who was up there yesterday on the stage. In 4th place, Pavel Frankizak. So maybe worth running through a couple of the riders that we could see coming to prominence in this sort of finish who were up there yesterday, Magnus.
Yeah, I think obviously we've got Gregor Bola. He's definitely going to be up there again, and his team worked hard for him yesterday, and they will no doubt continue to do so today at a later stage. We've got let me see, Marko Kump as well. I think he's going to be one of the potential riders in here to really do a good ride, but it's difficult to say as well. He's one of the Adria Mobile riders, so in the red and sort of white with a blue shoulder in that kit. I think as well we're going to have to look at Davide Vigano. And for you, I was going to say, if that name rings a bell for you guys, he has been racing World Tour for a number of years with Quick Step, with Sky, with loads of teams. I can't remember. They're
a bit of a journeyman pro. We were looking through his through some of the teams he's been with, but a bit of a lull now. This is quite interesting. Still 8.2 kilometers to go. But look at that, that's quite interesting to see. There's a lot of teams, you know, wanting to take it up, and then you get these occasional lulls, but look at the team who takes up the tempo again, just to make sure this doesn't get... it's far easier to keep your position if the line's a lot longer, isn't it? And you can just see the leader, Gregor Bola there. He's wearing the white jersey, and on the back, on his back, you can just see that little red square. It's a permutation, of course, of the Croatian flag, but he's riding at the head of affairs there, riding in about 10th or 15th position, and he certainly doesn't want to drop back much further than that, does he? No, he doesn't, and he's got all his teammates around him as well here now, certainly a fair number of them, and they will no doubt start coming up and trying to move up as well. But obviously with the man on the front sort of stringing it out and moving from left to right on the road as he's trying to open up the apex of the corners in every single corner that he can. It makes it sort of difficult for the rest of his team to make that move nearer to the front all the time. So some of the teams to look out for the yellow squad of cycling team Jan de Rijk. They have a rider well up there overall. Jetse Bol is also 8th. He's a very good sprinter. A little bit detached in the rather hectic finale we had, and this is a rider from the Meridiana Cayman team, the rather ragged style on the front. I'd suggest he needs to perhaps ride in a rather smoother fashion than that, but really setting a ferocious tempo. Look how long the bunch is. We had 149 riders sign on the line yesterday, but we did have 5 riders that unfortunately crashed out.
And then you could just see how CCC all of a sudden then gets to the front and then sort of checking that everyone is there. How many riders have we got? How hard do we need to ride? And it's just basically experience of what they're doing there. Just checking their fares and then just understanding what's what before they really start, you know, bringing it on. 6.6 kilometers to go. I was going to say, I suggested they need a few more riders than they have, but then they proved me wrong yesterday.
They certainly did. I mean, they lost, so they had 7 riders at the front, but it was quite an undulating finish yesterday, wasn't it? And a few of the riders were detached, and it was left to Peterski to ride the last 2 kilometres. Here we go. They're under the kilometre to go flag, but they have to go through the finish one more time. It's a great aerial shot of the formation of the peloton there. The rider in second place is the rider in blue. He's in the points classification leader's jersey at the moment, wearing it. He's in second position in the points classification, Peterski, so keep an eye out for him. He does ride on the same squad as the leader, Gregor Bola. But this is the first of the 2 left-handers, as we see Commodore Cruises. Interesting shot there. And then we head back to the rear of the peloton, but now Active Jet take it up at the front. A very well-drilled Polish team. And the tempo now lifting again. A couple of riders jettisoning their bottles. This is that final left-hander, very, very narrow. But luckily it's quite sweeping. And now one of the Rus Velo riders there takes to the front. Perhaps he thinks it's the finish. It certainly isn't the finish. There's 5.3 kilometres still to go. If that chap throws his arms aloft. No, he hasn't won. It's the second time I've had to commentate on a rider getting it wrong. Did that last year in the Tour of California. A little bit embarrassing, but 1 lap still to go. So 5 kilometres of the final stage. He thinks it's all over. It isn't. So 5 kilometres to go, just under 5 kilometres to go, and 1 lap of this very tight, twisting, sinuous and technical finish circuit here in the city of Żedir. And the team taking it up at the front in the black jerseys of Poland, the Polish Active Jet team. But this rider here from Rus Velo actually thought it was the win. I'm sure he enjoyed the moment, but will reflect back. And also a couple of riders actually thought it was the stage finish. One of the riders from the Italian squad, D'Amico Botticcia, also sprinting there. And that rider who took the victory that wasn't, in fact. And we'll get a check on his number there. Yeah, he's going to use a lot of his energy up. That's Ivan Belkin, one of the Russians, flying 16th overall. But
if it makes them feel any better, yours truly has done that as well in Belgium in a Kermesse race, but actually won the second sprint as well. Then,
well, there we go. Fair enough. Oh, well, I actually did it interestingly. In a 1500 metres race at school, I sprinted a lap early, and then the bell rang, but I still broke the school record. But yeah, so we've all done it, so fair enough. But there you go, back to the racing. Active Jet taking it up at the front, 3.9 kilometres to go. Other jerseys to look out for there. In 4th position, one of the riders from the Adria Mobile team, the Slovenian squad. Had a rider in 3rd place yesterday. Look out for him, Maro Kump. Narrowly missed out on 2nd place through his bike, but it wasn't to be at the end. So it was still a very good podium place, but still the tempo being set by CCC Sprandi Polkovice in that bright orange kit. They really are working hard here, Magnus. Extremely well drilled, but absolutely, well, they're extremely strong too to have spent this long on the front.
Yeah, they are holding it very well together. The biggest issue for them, I think, is going to be that first corner with round about a kilometre or just under a kilometre to go. There's a couple of little sort of tight spots there that they need to get in there right at the very, very front of it, and they are unfortunately starting to run out of riders a little bit. And it's quite difficult to spot Gregor Bola where he is in this because of his obviously a different coloured jersey to what he normally wears.
Well, this is an attack on the right-hand side by one of the MG Kebis Vega team, the Italian squad, but that's very, very quickly countered by Peterski.
Yeah,
there he is in blue.
Solid rider.
He's not panicking at all. He's not. He's still got that relatively smooth style, just bringing this rider back. Remarkably strong is Peterski. Remember, he led out for an astonishing 2 kilometres yesterday and still managed to hold on to 2nd place. But this is the place to be. It's at the front. Very, very twisting finish, but the riders all know it. They've seen it a couple of times now. 2.6 kilometres to go.
Yeah, 2.6k. Still a little bit unorganised in terms of any potential sort of teams getting themselves on the front and doing lead-outs. It's you know, CCC, they've kind of lost their ways a bit here now. They only got Peterski right near the front. Apart from that, they're all over the place, and then no other team really is looking that well organised.
Certainly are at 6s and 7s. One of the young riders from the Italian squad moving up on the outside. Also a few riders from the Adria Mobile. Look out for them, the Slovenian team in the red and white. Really driving it hard on the front, and the green team in 2nd place, that's the GM cycling team of Italy. They have got a couple of good sprinters in that squad. Also look out for the black and pink team of Radenska Ljubljana. The Slovenian squad had 2 riders in the top 10 yesterday. So interesting to see if you can look out for where Gregor Bolli is. I can't see him at the moment, drifting back a little bit.
The
he has got a couple of teammates with him.
The Italian rider there, sorry, in about 5th place. He's the man who went off the road earlier, Liam Bertazzo, who we kind of expected, looking at his body position and everything, looks very, very fast.
He certainly does. A very small, punchy rider, but the two riders leading out at the moment from the GM cycling team of Italy. Where is the leader of the race, Gregor Bolli? Look out for him. Remember, he's not in the orange of his team. He's in the leader's jersey. The red and white checks on the front, but some real powerful riding now from the GM cycling team at the head of affairs. Yeah,
definitely, but it looks like CCC have lost their sprinter. I certainly can't pick him out, but oh, here he is with a puncture. Something's wrong, yep.
Well, fortunately, he will be given the same time as the peloton, but it's not to be. He'll lose out on a valuable time bonus. He'd have been aiming for that. So Gregor Bolli, the leader of the race for CCC Sprandi Polkovice, a front wheel puncture for him. Very, very unfortunate indeed.
What
so
can
who will it be today?
do?
Well, Gamperturski is sitting in 2nd place overall. He throws his wheel with disgust. Very unfortunate there for the race leader, but that's bike racing sometimes. So he won't be there. The orange riders at the head of affairs now, really driving this tempo. Russ Velo in the red, also on the left-hand side. There's riders from Active Jet also there. With the Italian rider, Mario Kumpf is also there. Very, very fast round this left-hander. Who's it going to be? Number 25 there, Filippo Fortini on the left-hand side. There's Kumpf on the left-hand side. The rider yesterday coming down on the right. Is it Kumpf? It looks like it is Kumpf. One of the riders from the Adria Mobile team takes the stage. What an absolutely fantastic ride there. Definitely one of the Adria Mobile teams from Slovenia.